19.
What
I
year were
don't
you born
support
in?
him. 2007, January.
What do you want to talk about?
I was gonna say, the people who do support him, it drives me crazy because every single time I bring up the fact, if I'm a woman with 24 felony convictions against me, would you say I should be president? And every single time they say no. And I'm like, bro, so what the fuck? I'm like, bro, look, I'm not even trying to be rude, but like, I feel like they would genuinely elect a black transgender woman before they would elect any type of woman. And that's not saying the transgender women aren't women, but I'm saying they would elect any different type of woman before they'd elect a woman with a uterus. That's truly what I believe. I don't think I'm gonna see a woman president in my lifetime. I don't think genuinely.
I don't think they'd elect a trans woman.
Yeah, I would push
especially
back
not
on
a
that.
black trans
No,
woman.
I don't think they would, but they'd elect it before. A
No.
woman will not be president. I'm
Not a-
sorry to say it. I hate to say it because I want a woman to be president.
A black trans woman would be less likely
Baby,
to be elected
a black
than
man has already become president. A black trans woman will become president before a white woman will. That's my point.
No.
No, I do fully believe that.
Black trans women are really
Because at the end of the day,
are
they would
extremely oppressed.
They
you do know
would
this.
take
They're
they're
victims of
I agree
extreme
with
violent
you,
crimes,
but they
or
would
that they're
take
not
away
going
that
to get
woman's
elected.
identity and they would turn her into a man. Is my point. They would take away her real identity and they would say, "Oh, she's just masking as this to do whatever."
I don't think like the right whatever vote for like a trans individual, especially like
I
like a
think
person
that
of
a
color.
black trans woman will become president before a woman, period, does. I don't think that the country of America
That would
will
be a woman.
ever accept a woman with a uterus with periods as their president in my lifetime, at least.
Again,
No.
no, like,
They are
especially with,
way
like, the
more-
right.
So
So
y'all
they're
can
way more-
disagree. Y'all can disagree. That's fine. But you
They're
can't say,
way more likely-
okay, no.
So I'm going to explain. So they're way more likely to elect a cis woman, not a trans woman.
But it's not going to happen. Is my point.
Okay, you can say that it's not going to happen, but saying that they're more likely
Yeah, they
to
are.
elect a black trans woman
Yeah,
than a cis woman.
yeah.
No. No,
Fully.
you
They
saying that
are
they would
more
take away her
likely-
identity, that's a reason why they wouldn't vote for her. Her being trans
I'm not saying that
would
she
be a
would
reason
even
that
be elected. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that she'd be elected before any woman with a uterus. I'm not saying she'd be elected in my lifetime. I'm not saying that she'd be elected, I'm just saying in general, she'd be elected before a
Again,
woman
no,
with a uterus would.
especially when it comes to the right, it's like demonizing minorities. I mean, take a look at Obama.
But
Like,
yet,
hold
a
on,
black
hold on,
man
hold on,
was
hold on,
elected
hold on.
as
Yeah,
president.
but if take a look at Obama. They looked at Obama as like Devil 2.0, right? And as soon as a white man,
But he
Donald
was
Trump got into-
elected is the
as-
point.
But the point is, as soon as Donald Trump got into office, a white man dismantled everything Obama did, or attempted to dismantle what he did, the JCPOA, Obama.
I completely
et cetera,
agree.
et cetera, right? So the point is here that like when it comes to the right, especially now in this political climate, right? There's a difference between like Republicans post pre 2016 and then post 2016, where you have like MAGA Republicans, and then after January 6th as well, like pre January 6th and then post January 6th. There's a difference. I don't think like MAGA Republicans are never
Look,
they're never going to elect a minority.
I do
because
just
of the
want to bring up,
absurd
I know that
beliefs
you're
they hold.
saying pre-2016, post-2016, the abortion right didn't get overturned until 2022 for a reason. That's because Supreme Court, and I don't know if you know how this works, it's fine if you don't, Supreme Court is not based on the president, it's based on whatever Republic parties get won for that type of vote. So, for example, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, before her, it was 90% were agreeing, yes, this person should be Supreme Court justice. After her, it started turning into 50-50. Why do you think that was? Because it was black people, because it was people of other cultures. But even we could put the black man who was elected before Ruth Bader Ginsburg, he got a 90% vote. All I'm saying is America has turned more red than ever. All right? There's a reason why
You
Roe
can make
v.
an
Wade
argument like
wasn't overturned in 2016. It's because the Supreme Court still had a hold of itself.
Sure,
Ruth
you
Bader
can
Ginsburg,
make an argument.
I hate her.
Hold on. I'm not disagreeing like with your
Well,
argument that
you're
you're
going
like
to say, hold on, but you're kind of interrupting me?
Because you're just making an argument that I'm not arguing about. You're saying like it's like I guess how I would frame it is like
No, I'm explaining
January 6th,
why a black
like,
trans
America
woman
has
would be
turned, like,
president before any other person. I'm explaining
you
that,
just
but you're
said
not
that
letting
America
me
has
finish.
turned more red, and that's like I'm not arguing that.
Yes,
Like,
that's my point. Is I'm saying that they would. Okay, Red America does not think trans women is women. They don't think that trans women are women, is my point. They think that trans women are men. So they would elect. Unfortunately, they think that. I don't
No,
agree
they
with
think they're
it.
pedophiles.
They
They
no,
demonize
that's
them.
not-
Don't.
They demonize
If y'all
them. They
talk to
demonize them and
anybody
call
in
them
Red America,
pedophiles.
they think that trans women are men. They say that they're just cosplaying.
Yes,
they
they think
would
trans women.
elect
Yes, they
a
think
trans
women are.
black woman
Hold on.
before a white woman.
They think
They-
trans women are men, but they also call them pedophiles.
and mentally ill and all this other shit. They
That's
demonize
fine.
the
They
fuck
call,
out
yes,
of trans.
that's what I'm saying. That's
they-
even worse that they call them all those things and they would still elect them over
You
a
have
woman
no
with a
evidence
uterus.
for that. You have no evidence for that claim. What you're
I
saying
don't.
here is absolutely absurd.
I don't. This is my opinion. This is what I'm saying. I don't support Trump. This is my opinion. I don't have a. I've never claimed it. This is my opinion.
Okay, that's an absurd opinion to think that like the
You
right
can
is
think
would
that, but I've debated with many other people who can let me finish my point. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, bro, but you've interrupted me at every single argument that I've tried to bring up. When they let me finish my point, they get it. So I'm gonna dip out because you obviously cannot understand an intellectual. But you have a good night.
Sure, I mean if you
by the prompt and everything, and listening to what Max said down below there about people switching back and forth, not being so like hard pressed to just vote, say, for the left or vote for the right, no matter who they are, no matter what. I mean, honestly, I was not a big Trump supporter a few years back. I thought it was like a celebrity going for the office and everything like that because he was not a politician. And let's put it this way: he's a businessman, right? And I think
Very
no matter
bad
what,
one.
it doesn't matter who he has to be. Right? Yeah, he's been bankrupt quite a few times. I understand that, but I like his brazen attitude. I like the way that he doesn't take crap from people. And in the last election, this last election that we had, his opponent with Kamala, I mean, I going and watching debates and listening to people interview her and listening to her dance around questions that were hard questions. Donald Trump wasn't afraid to answer the question and say, "Hey, guess what? I don't care if it's unpopular. This is what's going to happen." Kamala Harris, she would just laugh and
he is
cackle
literally
and-
known for like not answering questions directly. I can actually provide you like so many instances. Like I
hate to say it. I mean, but Kamala Harris is just. I mean, I just didn't think she was anything impressive. I thought she was just
okay. And
just
you
the
said
way.
you like
I mean,
his
if you look at
attitude,
the
so
interviews,
you
look
said
at
you
her
like
interviews.
Okay. You wanna talk about interviews? How about we like talk about like Donald Trump's interviews? How about we talk about like Donald Trump answering?
I'm
questions
listening.
when it comes to the press.
Also, the thing
Right,
is,
hold on.
attitude shouldn't be the only thing you're basing your vote on. You should also base your vote on their policies.
So we can talk about his attitude now because that's an insane point to bring up. But here's this.
Dana Marie McNichol, Fox
Are we
News
listening
Channel.
to
Mr.
something, or
President, is
what's-
there an expected time frame that detainees will spend here, days, weeks, months? And does that have anything to do with the immigration judges you just spoke about being trained and staffed here?
When you say, what was the first part of your question? Who?
Is there a specific time frame you expect the detainees to spend here, days, weeks, months?
In Florida?
Yes, here
I'm
at
gonna
Alligator
spend- I'm going to
Alcatraz.
spend a lot. Look, this is my home state. I love it. I love your government. I love all the people around. These are all friends of mine. They know them very well. I mean, I'm not surprised that they do so well. They're great people. Ron has been a friend of mine for a long time. I feel very comfortable in the state. I'll spend a lot of time here. I went, for 4 years. I got to be in Washington, and I'm okay with it because I love the White House. I even fix up the little Oval Office. I make it. It's like a diamond. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It wasn't maintained properly. I will tell you that. But even when it wasn't, it was still the Oval Office, so it meant a lot. But I'll spend as much time as I can here. My vacation is generally here because it's convenient. I live in Palm Beach. It's my home, and I have a very nice little place, nice little cottage to stay at. Right. But we have a lot of fun, and I'm a big contributor to Florida. Pay a lot of tax, and a lot of people move from New York, and I don't know what New York is going to do. A lot of people move to Florida from New York, and it was for a lot of reasons, but one of them was taxes. The taxes are so high in New York, they're leaving. I don't know what New York's going to do about that because some of the biggest, wealthiest people and some of the people that pay the most taxes, of any people anywhere in the world for that matter, they're moving to Florida and other places. So we're going to have to help some of these states out, I think. But thank you very much. I'll be here as much as I can. Very nice.
Yeah, what was
Yeah,
the
that's
original
one
question
incident
that
where he
asked?
didn't answer the question directly.
No, he didn't
That's like
answer the
one
question at all. What was
incident
the
where he
question?
didn't answer
What was
directly.
what was the question that he asked? What was the question that she asked? Sorry, the reporter. What was the question that the reporter asked? How
Asked
much time?
He was asked about like how long. He was asked about like how long detainees were going to be in custody or something like that. And I was
He
like,
didn't mention
then he started
detainees
talking about
once.
Florida and New York and everything. See, that's what's great about.
So he didn't even indirectly.
Yeah, he didn't even
answer the
mention
question.
it.
He didn't
I
answer
know.
it at all.
I hear you. That's one. Yeah, that's one thing. But we could all.
It's just not.
We could all
It's
go
not
on
just
YouTube and we
one.
could find
It
stuff
is
like that.
so
It's not a big
many.
deal. But
You can go to any point.
I know,
in the debate.
but
In the
we need to have a
2020
little
in
more.
the 2024
you know,
debate, you can go at
I
any
can
point
tell-
in that debate. And Harris absolutely cooked Donald Trump
Yeah.
at any point in that debate.
Concepts of a plan.
See now that's where
Concepts of a
we can
plan?
agree to disagree on that. I think
Okay,
Kamala Harris was
concepts
an
of a plan,
absolute
you
shrewd
think-
individual who could not answer a question.
You think concepts of a plan is an answer
I
to
don't
the
know.
question?
I mean, I think that I just don't believe after hearing both of these people, Trump
Sure.
and Kamala.
How about we?
I can't believe that there's actually.
How about we
Can
go to
I
any
finish
point?
that sentence?
How about we go to
please?
any point? Any point.
I'm going to go to this point. I can't believe that people are actually on board with Kamala when you've listened to her speak and how she talks to people and how she is. Like, not even how she talks to people, because we know how Trump talks to people. But that's why I like about not being so crazy about politics is that I can just see it for what it is. And
Hey, how about we
I
listen to this?
I listened to her speak and she had no answers for anybody.
Yeah, how about
she
we put
cackled and left and she never answered anything.
Choose a time frame between a minute and an hour and 49 minutes. Choose any minute you want between that. Any minute, and I'll choose. It can go up to an hour and
Of
49.
what?
Any point in the
What are you
2024
What are you
debate.
on right now? What are you talking about?
I'm on the 2024 debate, Trump versus Harris. It's an hour and 49 minutes long. You can choose which time frame.
I don't
you
want to
me
listen to
play.
that crap again.
Which
No, I
which
lived
time
through
frame
it
you want
once.
me
I don't need to go through it. I'm not going to go through it.
Okay,
I'm just
well,
telling you.
I'll just play like
when
2
Trump
minutes.
told
40
everybody
42
that he
minutes
was
in.
going to bomb the hell out of
we'll just do-
Iran.
We'll just do
We did
42
it.
minutes in the 2024 debate. We'll
Listen,
just do 42
can I
minutes
say this
and-
real quick? Can I say this
Sure.
real quick? I know
Go for
43 people are here. Hold on. Please don't shut me out. Hold on. When Trump said he was going to bomb the hell out of Iran because they could not have a nuclear weapon, everybody on that other side, no matter who they are, the hardcore leftists, they hate it, right? But listen, when Obama said the same thing, when Sleepy Joe said it, when President Clinton said it, when George Bush said it, everybody agreed with those guys. Everybody was all on board with it. When Reagan said it, everybody's on board with it. Trump says it, everybody's got their own personal hatred towards
we
this
shouldn't,
guy.
we shouldn't be in endless wars in
because
the Middle East.
it's
First of all-
personal. That's all it is.
We shouldn't be
First
in
of all,
endless wars in
not
the Middle
true.
East.
First
But,
of all,
like-
it's not true. People disagreed with a lot of Obama's policies. People disagreed with Biden's policies all the time.
Literally.
I'm
People
not talking about
dislike
policies.
Reagan.
I'm talking
What?
about the Iran incident.
Yes,
I'm
that's
talking
a
about
policy.
Iran.
This is a
What did
policy. This
Biden
is a
do
war
about Iran?
policy.
What did
It's a
Biden
war
do about
policy.
Iran?
The sound. Here's the thing about Iran that he said.
No.
Specifically,
What
this
did,
word.
what? Don't run
What?
away. What did Biden
I'm
do
not
about
running.
Iran?
What did Biden say about Iran? He said that they could not have a nuclear weapon. They can't
Is that
attain
saying
one.
you're going to bomb the shit out of them? And,
Did
like,
he
do
bomb
genocide?
them?
No, he didn't bomb them. Jesus Christ,
Okay,
he was on.
okay,
He was on freaking
okay.
cruise control the entire time he was in the presidency.
Okay. Did Obama bomb Iran?
No, I don't think he
Oh,
did.
Obama secured the
okay,
JCPOA.
okay.
The difference between Donald
No.
Trump, Obama, and Biden.
I don't know what you're
is
trying to do. That's no checkmate.
Hold on. The
He didn't have the
difference-
balls to
hold
do
on.
it.
Sure. You wanted to move to this point, and then we'll go back to to whether who will like answer questions better.
I see where you guys are going.
Obama,
so.
The difference between Obama, Biden, and Donald Trump is Obama and Biden try to work diplomatically, and Obama did. B, Donald Trump is a warmonger and he wants to pursue these wars, which is why he took us out of the JCPOA in 2018. Right? There are two completely different things. One threatens genocide, the other two don't. Let's go back to my point. We'll do 42 minutes and 40 seconds in the debate, and we'll see.
Hold on a second here.
Who
You
is
just
answering
loaded that
questions
up.
better.
Hold on a second.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
Obama was negotiating peace, yet while they were pulling the wool over America's eyes, because that's what they were doing over there in Iran,
How
they were
so?
building facilities and they were enriching uranium. They were trying to enrich
Give me
uranium.
proof.
I don't have any proof. Do you have any proof? You got no
Yes,
proof.
we have.
So,
In fact,
first-
Donald Trump is the one
but
who
we didn't
signed
bomb
it
a
off.
facility that just
Hold on,
popped
hold
up
on,
because
hold
we
on,
just
hold on.
wanted it
In
built in one
2017,
day.
in 2017, Donald Trump signed off that Iran had not violated the JCPOA via the IAEA. He signed it off just as Obama did multiple times, multiple years. Right. So all these both presidents signed off that Iran had not violated the JCPOA. We had unprecedented levels of like security over their facilities as well, and there's no evidence at all that they violated the JCPOA in any way, shape, or form. So that point is wrong.
Okay, buddy. All I said was, why do I support Trump? Because he's got a set of brass balls, and he tells you how it is.
Yeah, you said he
That's
answers
why I
questions.
like
Let's go
him.
back to this
Mikey,
point. Let's go back
Hold
to
on.
this point.
Yes,
Go ahead.
ma'am. Mad Max,
Mikey,
what's up?
You support him based off of vibes. That's who you support. People like you support
Nah,
political.
I don't even-
No, you
please don't
support
say vibes.
politicians.
You
You
just showed
support
your age.
politicians based off of vibes. That's literally all you have. You have nothing to support your claims. Anytime we've brought something to you, you said, "Oh, Iran violated it. They were pulling one on America." Blah blah blah. We asked you for proof. You said you have.
You don't
I
have
have
any
no
proof
proof.
either. You're not showing me anything. You're
We
bringing up
told you.
sound
We told you.
clips
Trump signed off
off
that
of
they
YouTube.
didn't violate the JCPOA. We had surveillance over the JCPOA. They were allowed to enrich uranium to about 3%. Okay, that is not enough for any sort of nuclear.
Yeah, and then over the years they have done more.
Hold on. That is not enough for any sort of weapon. Okay, the minimum for a quote unquote dirty bomb is about 60% enriched uranium. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thanks for informing me. They were going to keep going,
now,
by the way.
Hold on.
They were going to keep going, by the way. And they would have. No, hold on. And you believe that they would not have held the world.
Okay. Then when Trump pulled out of the JCPOA in 2018, that meant they are no longer held to those restrictions. They can now enrich uranium to whatever point they wish. And we have no place to say otherwise. We have no place to say otherwise because we have no agreement with them. They are a sovereign nation who can do what they wish.
That's great, Hunt.
We have no place to say
if
otherwise.
you're supporting
We
that,
had an
that's
agreement.
insane.
We had
You
an
guys are
agreement
insane.
where
Hold on.
we had an agreement where they had restrictions and there would be consequences if they did violate those restrictions.
Right.
And then
there
Trump
should
pulled
be.
us out, and now they had no restrictions. They could enrich uranium to whatever percent they wanted to.
You're
Exactly.
saying-
And
you're
that
saying
would
there
have been the
should be.
biggest mistake of all time.
So
you
Trump,
don't understand.
Trump did the biggest mistake of all time?
No, the biggest mistake would have to let Iran get an atomic bomb. That would have been the biggest mistake of all
and
time.
Donald Trump greenlit them pursuing their nuclear ambitions via getting us out of the JCPOA because once again, he even
Let me tell
signed
you
off on
something.
the fact. Hold on.
He went
even
after
signed off on
them.
the fact
He
that they were
bombed
not
their facilities
producing
over there
the-
to make
and-
sure they didn't have it.
One more time.
Those people are insane over there in the Middle East. You don't understand.
It would still be like it is the case that like if Iran had like the ability to like produce nuclear bombs and had nuclear bombs, they would never like attack any like American ally or America. Because they know that would be like a suicide mission, right? They know that like we would strike them back with nuclear bombs as well. I mean,
and I'm going to deviate,
like
right?
North Korea. Do I agree with countries having nuclear bombs? Absolutely not. I don't think anyone should.
No,
Right?
absolutely
but,
not.
like America is a bully. It's either you have nuclear bombs and we don't touch you, or you don't have nuclear bombs and we bomb the fuck out of you. Right?
It
It's one
really
of those
comes
two.
up like that. I know, but you know
Yeah,
what?
it is one of those.
Sometimes.
So can we go back to the original point you made real quick?
Mikey,
Sometimes, hold on. I was going to jump
you're
on this.
only going back to
Hold on.
the start of Trump's presidency this time. You're not
the
going
times I've
back
seen
to
Trump
the
here.
start of this. Iran and America have had a history for like a century almost. Okay,
Half century, yeah.
no,
47
it's
years.
been over half a century.
Well, I thought it was since 1979 when we had the problem with,
No, it's been
No.
since 1953. Even prior to that, if you take a look
Even
at like,
better.
the actual
Even
like
another
history
reason,
of
because
the
we
history
know-
of the Middle East.
I'm
with,
going
like,
to say
American
that
oil
those people
companies
over
going
there,
to
they
Saudi
put,
Arabia,
they put their
and then, like, the
religions and
kingdom of
stuff
Saudi
over
Arabia, and
common
then, like,
sense, right?
these
No,
proxies being
actually,
funded
that's
via
Yes,
not
they
what
do.
happened.
They
No,
do.
that's
They
actually-
put their religions over common
Mikey,
sense. And
Mikey.
no, listen to me when I
No,
tell you this.
you don't know the history. You didn't know it went back to 1954.
If they had obtained a nuclear bomb, they think they're all going to be rewarded in heaven with 40 fucking virgins. They're crazy
Mikey,
people.
do you know what?
They
Do you
think
know
they're-
what?
they think
Do you know what
this.
happened in 1954?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Tell me.
Okay, in
Inform me.
1954, they had democratically elected an official who prioritized his citizens over what the UK and the US wanted. You know what that was? Oil. They decided, hey, we're going to stop being exploited by you. We're going to keep the oil, majority of the oil, for our citizens so we can use it for our citizens. We're going to stop selling it cheap to you guys because you guys have been exploiting us for years. And you know what the US did? And the UK did? They went into the country and helped coup the government and put in a new guy. Then the people hated that guy and they overthrew him in the 1970s.
Right.
And that's where we are now.
Okay, good. Okay.
So it's the US's fault
so-
that we are even in this spot now because we fucked with their democratically elected officials.
So
This
we're
is
gonna
literally-
blame
this is
Dwight
documented.
Eisenhower in
Hold on, one more point.
1954 for this.
One more point. One more point. This is like
100%.
documented. This is like well
Fine.
documented. And
The
like,
man's dead. We can do that.
Sure,
Fine.
sure. Hold on. This is like well documented, like via the CIA, and like this coup that happened in like August of 1953. So like this is well documented, right? If you know any history at all about the Middle East, you know it's American intervention is what the fuck, I can't speak. You know that it's America intervening within these countries, doing coups. Right,
do.
for whatever reason,
Yes.
for America's benefit, quote unquote, whether it be oil, whether it be war money, etc., etc. We don't care. Well, we as in like the American government, the CIA doesn't care about the citizens of that nation. Doesn't care if it destabilizes that region, and it's the same thing in this aspects too. We don't care about like 174 Iranian schoolgirls dying. We don't care about like any of their citizens, right? Like if we cared about the 30,000+ citizens that were like killed by protesting from their government, right? We wouldn't be bombing a school full of children, right? So that's
See,
just,
now
like,
I don't even
insane for
believe
you to
that.
bring
I
up.
don't even believe that was us that did that.
It was. It literally was. It was one of our Tomahawk missiles. It's already been. There's been investigations. It was us. Now they're saying that it was for whatever reason, but it
Right,
was
they-
us.
The school was hosting, not hosting, but there were what is it? The opposition was inside the school.
No,
That's basically what it is.
no.
They didn't
It was
target
ba-
a
it
school
was
to
based on,
kill
like,
kids.
It was based on bad intel. I think like 50,
Okay.
50 something miles or something. And like away was like a military site or something like that. I'm not sure in
Right.
specific, but it was a school, right? It was
So
based on
it,
bad
but
intel.
it was
is what this
was
term is
bad
arguing.
intel. Right.
Sure,
It was
but
bad intel.
That still
it
proves
was not
that
intelligent.
it still proves that we do not care, or the government, the CIA, they do not care about these citizens, right? They only care about quote unquote benefiting America, even though this doesn't benefit America in any way, shape, or form. Now, can we please go back? You made the claim that Harris didn't answer questions, but Donald Trump did. Can I play you a clip in the 2024 debate? It's going to be a
I
random
actually
point
want
in
to
time.
go right now. I want to go work out a little bit here, and it's
You
not
don't have
for
like
anything
4
other
minutes.
than me.
You don't have 4 minutes.
I literally just got to the gym when I was getting into this with you because I was trying to tell you why I supported Trump. That's all I was trying to do. I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole.
This is why you support Trump. So give me 4 minutes of your time.
This
and
is
let me
not
prove you
why I
wrong.
support Trump all the
Well,
way.
hold on.
I just told you
Right
how
now
it
we're
is.
arguing, so
hold on, hold on
I'll just
yourself.
play the clip. I'll just play the clip, and if you leave, then you leave, and if you don't leave, then you'll leave. It's like 4
Well, I
minutes
was going to
long.
leave anyway, so
Sure,
I
then-
don't want
then
to
if
hear
you leave
the
while it's playing, then
2024
sure, go for it.
election.
But I still think that this chat deserves to know
Hold on a second.
that your point is proven wrong. So here's this. If you want to,
No, there's no point when I tell you that my opinion about Donald Trump.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President Harris. Well, I think this is so
There's
rich.
no opinion.
coming from
There's
someone
no
who has been
opinion. My opinion's
prosecuted.
not wrong. It's an opinion.
And all over the world, crime is down. All over the world, they allow terrorists. They allow.
This guy doesn't want to listen.
You know they're going to see your age.
it's literally
I
just
just
Trump
feel like
yapping.
you guys are pushing your left agenda again. You're trying to make it like Kamala was way better when she wasn't. That's all you're
The
trying
choice
to
is clear
do.
in this election.
just killed, viciously and violently killed. And I got to know the parents and the family. They didn't fire. They should have fired all those generals, all those top people,
Nobody
because that was one of the most incompetently handled situations anybody has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job, I fire him. And you take a guy like Esper. He was no good. I fired him. So he writes a book. Another one writes a book. Because with me, they can write books. With nobody else, can they? But they have done such a poor job. And they never fire anybody. Look at the economy. Look at the inflation. They didn't fire any of their economists. They have the same people. That's a good way not to have books written about you. But just to finish, I got more votes than any Republican in history by far. In fact, I got more votes than any sitting president in history by far.
Let me continue on immigration. It was what you wanted to talk about earlier. So let's get back to your deportation proposal that the vice president are. You say if things get out of control, you'd have undocumented.
It is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many millions of criminals. They allowed terrorists. They allowed common street criminals. They allowed people to come in, drug dealers to come into our country. And then now in the United States and by their countries like Venezuela, don't ever come back or we're going to kill you. Do you know that crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down? You know why? Because they've taken their criminals off the street and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall,
Totally agree with that.
coming down in this country. But Vice
Excuse me,
President
the
Harris,
FBI defrauded. They were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the cities
Trump
with the
is
worst
not
crime.
wrong.
It was
He's
a
not
fraud,
wrong, buddy.
Just like their number of 818,000
Get this guy
jobs that they
Soldier
said they
Boy
created
up
turned
there,
out to be a
number
fraud.
3. Get him up there.
Respond, Vice President Harris.
Well, I think this is so rich coming from someone who has been prosecuted for
national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next
Yeah,
big
let's not get on
court
that
appearance is in
onto that
November and
bullshit
criminal
story.
sentencing. And let's be
Let's
clear
not get on that.
where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule
That
of law
E.G. and
and respect for
Carroll
law
fraud.
enforcement. The
That
former
was
vice president called for defunding federal law enforcement, 45,000 agents, get this, on the day after he was arraigned on 34 felony counts. So let's talk
Which
about
was really
what is
two,
important
wasn't
in this
34,
race. It is
but that's
important that we move forward, that we turn the page on this same old tired rhetoric and address the needs of the American people, address what we need to do about the housing shortage, which I have a plan for, address what we must do to support our small businesses, address bringing down the price of groceries. But frankly, the American people are exhausted with this same old tired playbook.
Jeremiah, get Soldier
So
Boy
the
up here.
point with me playing this here, Donald Trump was attacking Harris with insane false statements. Even the host had to like correct him. Crime has been down since 2022. Crime has been down in every major city, including DC. So when Donald Trump went into office and said DC is this horrible, horrible place, it's the murder capital of the world. False. Crime has been down since 2022. A, B, undocumented immigrants are multiple times less likely to commit any sort of violent crime or bad crime, so that's false, right? And C, she actually talked about the American people and the average American citizen, right? And actually proved how a criminal wouldn't be good for a crime, and we're seeing that right now. He has pardoned violent domestic terrorists, he has pardoned foreign domestic terrorists, and he is like considering pardoning like Ghislaine Maxwell. He said that like a couple months ago, and all these like insane other things, corruption with like foreign governments as well, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Russia, with the Trump family, with Saudi Arabia and all these different foreign countries. Like,
I really hope you weren't
corruption and
bringing up the
crimes is
January
insane.
6th people that he pardoned. I really hope you're not talking about that when those people took in their own hands and did whatever they wanted to do. He had nothing to do with that BS. Give me a break.
Yeah, if he didn't have anything to do with it, if he wasn't okay with a crime, why did he pardon them? If he
Because
was
they got
not okay
jailed
with
for
the crime,
stupid ass
why did he
reasons because
pardon
they
them?
went in the Capitol.
They pled guilty to assaulting police officers. They
Yeah,
pled
that's
guilty
on them.
to all of them.
They were put in jail because people thought that
Because
Trump
there was video
created
evidence of DJ
it was not an
Rodriguez driving a stun gun
insurrection. It
into
was
an
nothing
officer's
like
neck.
that. They took it upon themselves to do
Okay,
that with their
but
own
if he
shit.
wasn't okay with a crime, why did he pardon the criminals?
You know why? Because they got what did they get? 10 friggin' years? And
Yeah,
you know what
I think
assault
someone
is,
who
brother?
assaults a police officer should
You know
be
what
put in
assault
prison.
is?
Yes.
You know what
I think
assault is?
someone
Yes.
who attempts
Yes.
an insurrection or a coup
Nowadays,
should be
when you
held
throw a
accountable for
bottle
their
of water
actions.
on somebody, that's assault. So it's a little harsh to give somebody 10 years for something minuscule.
Someone like grabbing a stun gun of an officer and driving it to his neck, giving them a heart attack. Yeah, they should be put in prison for that. They should be held accountable for that. Absolutely.
But not all of these guys that were pardoned were so crazy like that and did
Why did he
extreme
pardon
things.
why did he pardon the ones that were crazy? The ones who
I don't think he did pardon the ones that were crazy. You have a list of every offense that each
yes,
one did.
He pardoned DJ Rodriguez. Yes, that is a well-known fact. DJ Rodriguez was pardoned by Donald Trump. They were blanket pardons given to January 6th. In fact, he's now trying to do a slush fund of $1.8 billion of my money, your money, and everyone else's money that lives in America and that pays taxes to give to these violent criminals. He is trying to give them our money after attempting an insurrection, a coup, attempting to assassinate the vice president by threatening to hang Mike Pence, right? Threatening to unalive police officers. And now he pardons them, and now he wants to give them money.
To think that somebody's
Right?
words,
For
to think that his
weaponization of the
words
government.
actually had
The
that
only
effect on
person-
people is crazy. It was not an insurrection.
Dude,
His words were taken out of context.
Jeremiah
People are
never
crazy.
mentioned his words, Mikey. Jeremiah never once mentioned his words in whatever. in the
That's
speech.
why the insurrection happened, because he said something about storming the
So
Capitol.
you're saying
blah,
the
blah, blah.
insurrection did
It was
happen.
just a crazy talk that he was saying. It was something
Mikey,
stupid.
Mikey,
Max.
Jeremiah is not putting any sort of fault on Trump for anything why they went to the Capitol. He is saying Trump is okay with the crime because he pardoned them and he is trying to give them money, tax money from citizens.
Yeah, okay. We'll see that
After
happen. That will
pardoning
not
them.
happen, probably.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Guess what?
Don't
It
worry about
won't happen because it got blocked by a judge. But guess what? Donald Trump really wants this to happen. He really wants to give his allies and the people that were domestic terrorists that stormed the Capitol on January 6th, he really wants to give them money. But guess what? Because law and order is still upheld to an extent, a judge blocked it. And guess what? He on Truth Social this morning, after the announcement that it was blocked, he crashed the fuck out going after these judges. because that's the person he is. You want to talk about his attitude, him threatening, or him calling for the execution of 6 sitting Democrats, one of them being my senators, right? Him literally using his DOJ to go after the woman he raped, right? A DOJ opened an investigation into E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah,
right?
he didn't rape
when
that
he was
lady.
Able
we
to,
know that.
When
we
in
know
the West, in the West, you can agree innocent until proven guilty. Donald Trump was found guilty of sexual abuse. He was found guilty of forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina with his fingers, right? And 3 of his appeals got denied. So whatever the DOJ, it's baseless, and we know that it's innocent until proven guilty. So E. Jean Carroll is innocent until otherwise proven guilty.
The criminal trial,
that he was.
Yo, it was a civil suit because there was no evidence that criminally
it was a
linked
civil
him to her.
Civil suit. It was a civil. It was a civil court case.
He's
because
found
of
civil
statute of
liable
limitations.
because it was defamation of character because he said something bad about
Because
her
he called her
after
a
she
liar.
made that
Yes,
false
no,
allegation.
Mikey,
Yes. So E. Jean Carroll
Max,
said
you're
that Donald
wrong.
Trump,
Stop.
E.
No,
Jean
that's
Carroll
what
said
happened.
Donald Trump raped her.
No,
Hold on,
it was
E. Jean Carroll said
two-
Donald Trump raped her, and then
it
he
was
called her a
two
liar, and then
civil
E.
court
Jean Carroll
cases.
defamed. And then E. Jean Carroll said Donald Trump defamed her, right? And then she was able to prove in a civil court case that A, yes, he did defame her, and B, yes, he did sexually abuse her via forcefully penetrating her vagina without her consent with his fingers, which is colloquially known as rape. So colloquially, he was found guilty of rape in a civil court.
Yeah, there was 2 civil cases, okay? 2 civil cases. One was for defamation and one was for sexual assault. The reason it was in civil was not because of lack of evidence, it was because of statute of limitations. Okay? You're wrong. He was found liable in both cases.
Make sure. Get out of here. Moving on to the next.